In this video, I'm going to show you how to put your custom t-shirt designs on my 3D t-shirt mockup. To do this, you'll need three things. You'll need to go to blender.org and download and install Blender 3D, which is 100% free. You'll also need Photoshop Creative Cloud, and you'll need to go to my shop and download my 3D source files. I put the link in the description. Once you've downloaded my source files and opened up the folder, this is what you should see. There's 8 Blender files. They're all the same t-shirt animation, but there's 8 different backgrounds that you can choose from. And they'll also have 2 template files. They're Photoshop files. One's a template for the tag and one's a template for the t-shirt. To get started, we can just hop into this first one. I'll just use this t-shirt animation with a black background. Once you've opened up Blender, this is what you should see. On the left side is your viewport with the t-shirt, and then on the right side is your shader editors for your materials. And then this upper right side, here's your outliner where you can view your objects that are included. If I click down here and show you the rendered mode, you can see that the t-shirt appears pink. That's because we haven't linked our designs yet. So we can hop it to the folder with our included files. And then what you want to do is open up Photoshop. Let's open up this t-shirt template Photoshop file. So this is what the template file looks like. You have space for your front design, and your back design, and your right sleeve and left sleeve. And then in this layers panel, there's an adjustment at the bottom where you can change the t-shirt color by double clicking on this thumbnail. And you can change that to any color that you want. But for now, we're going to just leave that as black because we want to mock this up on a black t-shirt. So click OK. And then what you want to do is pretty simple. You just want to grab your designs that you want to mock up and drag them into this Photoshop file. So I have a front and back design. These are Photoshop files that I'm just going to drag in, but you can also use any image file that you have. And you want to make sure that this layer is inside this folder here that says place your design in this folder. So I'm going to click and drag that into there. And then I'm just going to place this how I want it to look like on the t-shirt. I'm going to change the blend mode of that graphic just to screen to get rid of the black background. And the template is based loosely on the UV maps of the 3D model. So if you want to have a super precise placement, you might have to come back in here and do some tweaks after you look at it in Blender. But so far, this is what I want it to look like. Then I'll grab my back design, do the same thing, click and drag that, and there, resize it. And once you got the placement where you want it, you want to click Save. And then we're going to go back into that folder and find that tag template, and we're going to do the same thing with the tags. And as you can see, there's space for your size tag, your sleeve tag, and your bottom tag. So I'm just going to make this really simple and just paste in my logo that I have. And place that there in the size tag, your sleeve tag, and in the bottom tag. So that looks good to me. Once you're done with your placement, you want to be sure to save that file, and then we're going to hop back into Blender. So in order to link those templates to your 3D model, you want to select your t-shirt model. You can do that by going into your outline here and going to this green collection, and then making sure you select this t-shirt mesh. And then in your shader editor, you should see that there's an empty node here that says link your t-shirt template file here. And what you want to do is click open and then double click on the template that we just edited, which is this t-shirt template. And then after that, you can see that in your viewport, the front graphic and the back graphic have updated. And that looks good to me. And if you go into your materials panel on the right side, you can see that there's 2 materials. There's your t-shirt, which is the graphic, and then below that there's the t-shirt inside. And if you chose a different color than black, you might want to click on this inside t-shirt material and then go to this base color and change that to match whatever color that your t-shirt is. But since my t-shirt is black, I'll just leave that as black. Then we want to do the same thing for our tags. We want to link those tag templates. So in order to do that, you want to go to your outliner and then click this drop down on your t-shirt mesh. And then you'll see that you have your 3 tag meshes here that you can edit. And you want to make sure that these 2 icons on the right side, this eyeball and this camera, those are toggled for whatever tags you want to use. For example, this size tag here, if I wanted to hide that, I can click both icons and hide those, which will hide it in the viewport and hide it in the render. But for this example, we want to show that. And then in order to link your template, it's pretty simple. Do the same thing, just click on that mesh. You might need to scroll down here, and then you'll have this node in your shader editor where it says link your tag template here. Do that same thing, open, and then link your tag template. And you can see in our viewport that those tags have updated with my logo. So that looks good to me. So in order to render this animation out, we want to go to your right side panel here and go to the renders property panel. Click that. And then here you'll have the option to change what render engine you want to use. I'm going to use Cycles because that will give the best image quality. And I'm going to use my GPU to render that, which I recommend if you have one since it'll render faster. Then we want to go down to sampling, go down to render, and then you can adjust this noise threshold number. Mine's at 0.05, and this will alter the quality of your output image. If you want yours to be a higher quality, you would lower this number here to maybe like 0.01 or something, but that will increase the render time. If your computer's a little bit slower, you might want to increase this number to like 0.1 or something, but keep in mind that will lower your image quality. So after you do that, you want to go here to your output panel and click that. Under format, you can change which resolution you want it. I'm going to keep mine at the default that I set it here, which is 1920 by 1080, and have that at 125% scale. I notice that'll give a better image quality at the end if I down-res that to 1920 by 1080. You can change the frame rate here. I'm going to leave mine at 24 FPS. You can change your frame range here, but I recommend leaving this as is because I've set that to loop seamlessly. So if you want to loop seamlessly, we should just leave that as is. Then you can go down to output, click output, and then you'll click this icon here, and you can pick which folder you want to output your rendering at. I've done that. And you can change your file format here, which is I'm going to leave that as MPEG video. If you go down to encoding here, under encoding, you can change the encoding format. I'm going to put that MPEG 4. You can change the video codec. I'm going to use H.264. And then I'm going to change the output quality to high quality. So once you changed all that, you can go to your top left and click render, and then render animation, and then your animation will start rendering, and hopefully it will be done within an hour or two. So pretty much that's all there is to it. You can repeat that same process for the other backgrounds, and hopefully this video will help you out in getting you started with those mockups. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments and let me know how it goes. Thanks.